we will take the test.
Go on
Okay,
Thursday.
so please, yeah, please announce to them, ma'am.
It is already announced on first day. In the previous day also I have announced. Today I will also announce.
Okay.
Okay, okay.
Thursday it will be
we are
happening.
on, yeah.
Sir, from
Ma'am, we are on
6:45.
6:45 to 7:45.
No, whether
6:45
Thursday.
to 7:45.
Yeah, 1 hour.
Loading, sir.
Yeah, ma'am, we are on YouTube. You can start, ma'am.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, participant is 100, so no more participant can join. I request any of the participant, please share your YouTube link to the Telegram group so that others can join. Dear students, please share the YouTube link to your friends. Yeah, ma'am, you can start.
Okay, I'll just share my screen. So my screen is visible?
Yes, madam.
Okay, thank you. So dear student, welcome to the last session of module 2. The module was all about understanding harmony in the human being. And so I discussed myself and Dr. Tapolina Banerjee, we both discussed about a lot of things. We will be discussing about a last couple of things today, which is mostly about our health. You know, harmony in human being, when you understand that harmony is, self and body. We have talked a lot about the self, the activities of the self, but we also need to understand like what that our body needs. And to a great extent, if you see that both yourself and the body, if both of these elements are in harmony, then only you can actually be in real harmony. If your stomach is full, you may be happy or you may not be happy. If you are happy, but still you can be hungry, right? So you see that both these aspects is something which needs to be fulfilled from different perspective. Okay. So, and in this module, basically, if you see, when I recap about the previous lecture that Dr. Banerjee discussed, we were basically like discussing about one important thing. And what is the takeaway from this module? If you ask me, what is the takeaway? Can anybody tell me very quickly what is the takeaway of this module? Any participant?
Students, you speak something. It is expected.
Students, please speak out. You can unmute and you can speak.
Yes, anybody? What was the motive of this entire module that we were discussing? What was the most important thing?
Ma'am, how to be happy and how to deal with the problems in our daily life.
Absolutely. And for that, what is the requirement? What is the most important requirement?
Ma'am, having the positive attitudes towards every
right.
aspect.
Yes,
and,
yes, absolutely.
And understanding
that is what
ourselves.
I want. Absolutely. Very good, very good. Thank you, both of you. for giving this answer, because this is what
Thank
I
you, ma'am.
wanted to hear, the positive attitude. We need to have a positive attitude towards everything. That is the most important thing. And that is the takeaway of this module. From this module, from this Universal Human Values course of module 2, my takeaway should be, I mean, your takeaway should be, or even every individual's takeaway should be, situations can be anything. You know, good, bad situations are part of life. But at that situation, how can we be happy? And that can only be done by cultivating positive thoughts. Okay. And harmony of the self and the body, this was discussed. Today, which I'm going to discuss mostly, is about the health. How do you nurture our body? You know, our body is a complicated thing altogether, if you understand, you know. So how do we manage that? And also, how many of you have heard of placebo effect? How many of you have heard of placebo effect? Do you know it?
No, ma'am.
No. Okay. So we will learn about that also. It's a very simple thing, but we will learn about that. So this is the content of today's talk. Let's move on. Yes, Shushmita, please tell me.
A placebo effect is kind of an effect, like I can give an example, maybe like suppose somebody is given, somebody is having some kind of a, not exactly a physiological disorder, something kind of
We
a,
can just create a illusion in our brain, like fake scenarios. We can make it
and
real.
Yeah.
Ma'am,
So
sometimes his response is positive and negative.
right. Okay, so we'll discuss about this, what is placebo effect, and then you can figure out whether you also have this kind of effect sometime in your life or not. Okay. Okay, so we will see about all these topics in course of time. So very quickly on whatever we actually discussed so far, this is what we already discussed. Self needs harmony. Self, the need, the activities, and the expectation, all these things are the activities of the self. And the activities of the self is continuous in time. You cannot say that I don't need happiness, I need only happiness now, and tomorrow I don't need happiness. It's a continuous thing. Regarding food, it's more like whenever your body needs that, at time to time, there is some kind of various kind of senses. Using those senses, we feel hungry. And at the same time, when we're hungry, we eat in certain amount, and that satisfies our bodily need. Okay, so these are two different aspects, but we see that they both merge together. And the most important thing is that to be happy, to think positive, to help others, to love others, for all these things, we also need food to it, and we also need good thoughts within ourselves. So this is the most important thing that we have been discussing. And of course, as I said, negative thoughts, you know, I understand negative thoughts is common. It happens to me, it happens to you, and it happens to everybody in this world. But we have to have, but the choice is ours. You might have negative thoughts, but the choice is no. Instead of having this kind of thought, I will force myself to actually think positive, and I will not entertain my negative thoughts. I will make a filter within my mind such that I will be able to filter those stupid thoughts that comes to my mind. No, I don't want you. Okay. So it's a kind of radio button, you know, you just, these thoughts, okay, this button, it will get cleared off. It's just like that. So of course, it is not easy. It will come over the time. You need to do certain kind of practice to achieve those, but nothing is impossible. That is the whole story. Nothing is impossible. If we existed in this universe for 70,000 years, I mean, we in the sense Homo sapiens, right? But so we have experienced so many things. All our experiences is the culminating effect of the research, whatever we see in this universe, actually, in this Mother Earth. So the most important thing is that nothing is impossible. So we need to have a positive mindset, a positive frame of mind, which will help us to go ahead. Okay. Now, moving on. Harmony of self with the body. As I said, what is our body? It consists of various parts. And the most important thing is the 5 sense organs that we have. With those 5 sense organs, we get the input, we processes that input, and based on that processing, we take some decision. Exactly, the computer does something like this, right? It takes some input from the input devices. Based on the program written, it computes that, and finally it generates set of instructions or set of things which needs to be done, which is written in the form of program, and finally the output is the task gets executed. Either you get it in the form of output in the screen, or you get it in the form of output in terms of some hard copy that you get through your printer. Anything, it can be anything. Okay, so it's a self-organized system. Over the time, the system, there are trillions and trillions of cells in your body. A biology student can explain it much better. But the meaning is each of these cells, they need to be in harmony with each other. When does you have a health issue? When does you have some problem? When those cells are not in harmony with each other. How many of you, you must be knowing this, the root cause of any disease is the kind of stress the people takes these days. It is not only something else is killing us. Who is killing us is the kind of stress, because you are taking too much of stress, which your body cannot take. In a weighing machine, which can only take like 10 kgs, and you put 15 kgs on that, obviously it will fall down. It will not work. In the same way, our body and every individual has got certain way, the way they are. When I talk about Ayurveda, I'll distinctly tell you what exactly is this, and you can also find out that what is your Prakriti. So as we individuals are different, so there is an important thing that we must understand, that our body is a unique thing, and our body needs, some kind of, our body needs some kind of, essential aspect to actually work. Our body is what? Some kind of mechanism through which we can do so many things. Okay, being it in a healthy form will always help us to grow further, right? Now, so one thing is each part coexist in harmony with each other. So every cell in our body, it needs to be in harmony. What do you think? If you are unhappy, even if you have no disease, you test it after some months, when you are in continuous stress, or you are in continuous, unhappy state, some of your bodily features might come up abnormal. Why does this happen? Because these cells needs to be in harmony. These cells needs to live happily. And when it gets, some kind of signals that makes it unhappy, then it cannot perform. Each has certain tasks to perform, and it is unhappy. So it's not able to perform that task. And so a different kind of ailment will happen to you. So you see, different parts has got dedicated functions. Eye performs something, our mouth performs something, our digestive system performs something, our hand got some other things to do, our legs have, each of the body parts have different functionalities. And one thing is for sure, if you are happy, all your bodily function works in harmony. This is the truth of life. This is the biggest truth, and you all, as a young student, keep this into mind, that this is really, really an important thing, you know. So is this clear to all of you? That your happiness, your well-being, and your health is greatly dependent on your, kind of thoughts you have. Because these thoughts in turn accumulate to become like what you feel. And what you feel, you will be doing such kind of things in course of time. And when you will be doing those things, that will give in return some kind of happiness. And when you feel that happiness within, your every cells in your body will also become happy, So moving on, is this clear to all of you? Shall I move ahead?
Yeah, ma'am.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, harmony of the self with the body. Okay, so whatever I was discussing, it comes under three things. So three things that we will be looking here. What are the three things? They are nurturing the body, which is the most important thing. Nurturing, protecting, and rightly utilizing. Three things. What do you mean by nurturing? Nurturing means we are providing appropriate things that are needed for your body. Air, water, food, sunlight. I mean, these are the basic requirements. How many of you spend some time in sun? Yes, please. Somebody is raising. Run it.
Ma'am, you asked about the tiny or someone who spends daytime more in the light, means time of the day in the sunshine. That's why I raised my hand, ma'am.
Yeah. How much time do you spend?
Ma'am, if we go for practice sessions, then we spend near about 2 hours.
No, not if. You have to. 2 hours is very nice. That gives you a lot of vitamin D. But, for all of us who are present today, this is something make into your practice, that we will stand in the sun for, it may be anything. It's a very hectic day or anything. At least 15 minutes. Can't we do that? And because of I was not doing this, I suffered so much, you cannot imagine. Of course, I was staying in a very cold place. That's a separate issue altogether. But at the same time, I was not exposing myself to the sun. So, sun is something so much important for us. Without sun, our life wouldn't have been here on the earth. We know that. But not only that, once you are here, you have to take decision. Like thinking positive is very nice, but at the same time, you need to choose some very good habits in your day-to-day activities. Exercise and all these things are very important, but just standing in the sun, okay, it's not nothing. When you are coming to college, okay, of course now it is corona and all these things, but in course of time this will happen. Just spend some time in the sun, either playing or just stand there, talk with friends, whatever you want to do. Take a book, read it. Okay, so spending time in sun is very important, and I request all my students, all the students who are present, and you tell others, tell all your family members, your parents, if they are not spending time in sun. The people who are in those kind of profession, who have to spend a lot of time in sun, they also have some issues, because spending huge time in sun, exposed to UV rays and all those things, there other kind of diseases might happen. But spending some time in sun is essential for our bodily function. Okay, so please put that in your habit in the list. And this is also a takeaway from this module. Nurturing the body, as I said, providing food, air, water, etc., etc. What is protection? Protection is basically to ensure that your body is safeguarded from unavoidable circumstances. What are those unavoidable circumstances? Let's say it can be something like you are in a cold place. You must protect yourself with good clothes. This is one thing. But at the same time, protection means, you see what happened. The virus have almost healed every aspect of our life, right? So protection within our body is equally important. And for that reason, we have been listening about improving our immune system for a long time, right? From the beginning of the COVID, when there was nothing, everybody said, if your immune system is good, then everything will be all right. So we need to work upon our immune system. Our immune system is very, very important. Okay. Moving on. Next is right utilization. See, this right utilization is very important, and try to understand it. It means using the body for the purpose of self. Okay. Using the body for the purpose of self. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay. Now, so right utilization is very important. And what does it mean? It means that your body is all right and it is doing something for the self, for your satisfaction. I'm working as a researcher. It gives me happiness. So I'm doing my work with my body. I'm able to get up in the morning, do my work, do my academic activities, do my other activities, whatever I can, because it is the body through which I'm able to do it, and it is the self. It is satisfying the self. Okay. So somebody is talking. Who is he? Okay. Moving on. So self-regulation and health, these are very important. Self-regulation, you have to understand your body. There is no one but you, and the body gives every signal to us that it is not well. When it is not well, your body will give you certain signals, but how quickly you understand those signals is up to you, because we have seen that in many cases we get to know about a disease in a very later stage and we cannot do anything. So we need to regulate our body in a fashion that the body should respond to any problem that is happening inside it. We cannot see it, but we can feel it. Our self can feel that. We get some kind through our senses. We feel something. We feel pain. We feel happiness. We feel, okay, there is something not fine. I'm not understanding what, but something is not right. And we take the help of a doctor, right? So nurturing, protection, and right utilization is very, very important. And this can be done nicely through self-regulation. But we all must know what is health, because if your health is not good, you will not be able to study. Sometimes you might feel, I'm not interested to study today, because you see back somewhere you have some health issues. If somebody is not healthy, that person will slowly feel that, oh, I'm not able to do this. You will have different kind of feeling coming up because of your health. Why this is happening? Because these are so very related. So we have to give for even good thought, for even positive thought. The first thing which is necessary is also our health. We need to take care of our health. We need to understand ourselves. This is my personal advice, which I personally do, is that just do not take a medicine for every problem that you have. Try to avoid it. Of course, not like you are not able, you have excessive pain and you will not take it. But if something is very mild, try to avoid it through natural remedies. And it helps a lot, and slowly, you will not feel to take any kind of medicines when with all these natural remedies you find to heal yourself. So Ayurveda is one such thing. I will be talking very briefly on that. But this is something very important, guys. Just try to understand what problem you are facing. Okay, what is there? Okay, I will of course talk with the doctor, but the doctor may suggest you exercise. The doctor may suggest you some food habits. Concentrate on that. A good, very proper food is very, very essential for the growth of your body and for the growth of your mind as well, both. Okay, let's move on. So as we said, that self and body, a body is considered, of course, as a machine, or you can say an instrument, whatever you say. Self is basically a kind of consciousness. It's the consciousness word you can use because it's the consciousness through which we are here. Every cell has got that consciousness. Okay, it's not only we ourselves has the consciousness. Every cell in our body has that. Now, you see what happens. Our body gives us some kind of sensation. Okay, I'm having pain in my hand. Okay, the body will give a signal, and our self or the consciousness will perform something, and it will give an instruction to the body to work like this, work like that. And I've also already said this, and in the previous lecture also we have said that the need of our body, need of our self is different. Need of the self is happiness, prosperity, and there is a continuity in that. It is not like I want happiness today and tomorrow I don't want. It's a continuous thing. Okay. Next. Nurturing, protection, and right utilization. What does it mean? I already discussed that. Just recall it. Nurturing comes under when we eat, in terms of food that we eat, the air we breathe, the water we drink, and so on and so forth. Okay. And if you see that food, we do not require a lot. We need in limited quantity. Okay. The tendon sheet. Okay. Just a second. Here goes the attendance sheet, okay? Is my screen visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So,
Yeah, ma'am, it's
we were
visible.
discussing about food, clothes, and shelter, right? So nurturing is, this food thing comes under nurturing, clothes and shelter comes under protection, and then the right utilization of the body, it comes under the instrument. I mean, the body and mind together, it comes under that. All right. Now, what are the indicators of a healthy body? You might have encountered this, or you might yourself have felt this at some point of the time, that the body is healthy if it is able to perform as per the instruction of the cell. When you get up in the morning, it's natural you get up and you brush. It's the hand which does the brushing, right? It is the mouth you open up to do the things. But at the same time, if you see, it is our mind which, or it is our self which tells us, okay, brush it. And our body performs it. Someday you get up and you don't feel like getting up. Then there is some issue in your body and you are not feeling good for some reason or the other, right? Different parts of the body are in harmony among each other. They are in order. So if everybody, if you are happy, when your cells within your body is happy, the trillions and trillions of cells that are present in your body, they are also happy, and everything is in order, right? We all know this. The feeling of self-regulation in the self is primary, okay? The feeling of self-regulation in the self. That means there must be some way to regulate ourselves, that is very, very important. Health in the body is a natural. So it is more like, a person who thinks healthy, a person who eats proper food, and a person who leads his life in a proper, disciplined way. That person is always healthy. That is what is meant by this. Okay? That health in the body is the natural consequence. It's not something happens out of the world. No, it's just a natural consequence. When you think right, when you eat right, when you live right, when you help others, when you love others, health is automatic. You will be healthy. Next, and the last point here, when the self has the feeling of self-regulation and there is a health in the body, there is harmony of the self with the body. So we now are talking about what is the title of this module, harmony of the self and the body. So now it is like when you are doing this self-regulation, when everything is all right, your mind, yourself is all right, your body is all right, then everything is in harmony. All right. Is this clear to all of you? Shall I proceed?
Yes, ma'am.
Guys, this is very important and I want you to listen it properly. Because after this, you can take your own test to know what kind of Prakriti you are. Okay. So what is Ayurveda? All of you know this, right? I mean, this is not something because this originated in India. We are proud Indians for that reason, for that matter. So I'm pretty sure everybody of you have heard of Ayurveda and everybody of you know Ayurveda. What is Ayur? Ayur means life. And what is Veda? What is Veda means? Veda means the science or the knowledge. Okay. So it is basically the knowledge of life, which is called Ayurveda. This originated in India many, many thousand years ago. And what is the main idea of this Ayurveda? Ayurveda is again related to, think of what I discussed in the first class. What are the 5 elements? We have fire, water, and
Soil.
earth. Fire, water,
And Panchatattva that's
air,
being about.
air, earth, and space.
Space.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
these are the 5 elements. Okay. So you see, and we also know that we are some form very much related to a part of this earth, because we also have all these things in some form or the other. And it is so true when you understand that Ayurveda is kind of thing where it divides every individual into these classes, or we call it Prakriti, or we call it constitution, where it says that every individual has got each of these components. What are those? This fire, air, water, earth, and space within their body in some proportion. One can have more air, one can have more fire, one can have more water. And every individual in this world is formed of these elements. And it is nothing but it is the constitution of that particular individual. And out of these, there are certain doshas. So you divide an individual based, we say this is the Prakriti of this individual. And what are those Prakriti? These Prakritis are nothing but, these are a part of These are a part of all these elements within yourself in some form or the other. And what are doshas? These are the life forces and the primary basis of Ayurvedic medicine. So, and what are the doshas? Anybody knows how many doshas are there? Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. Okay. So these are the three kinds of doshas that we have. Now there are more classifications. Some can be Vata, Pitta, some can be Pitta, Kapha, some can be Vata, Kapha, and so many and so forth. Ultimately, Vata means a person who is having more air within him or her. Pitta, meaning a person who is having more fire within them. And Kapha means more water within. So, and each of the person, if they are Bhata, they have got certain characteristics. So you go to any of the Ayurvedic website and answer some of the questions about your thing. What is your liking? Are you like, do you feel like doing something out of the box? I mean, they have many questions. You just go and figure it out. And you find out what you are. Either you are a Bhata, you are a Pitta, or you are a Kapha, or you feel that I'm both Bhata and Pitta. So there are unique characteristics of a human being. So we as an individual, we can be categorized as these, based on these prakritis, or we call it these doshas. And any person, if let's say he or she is Bhata, then a particular kind of treatment is good for him. This is very obvious that sometimes if I eat a kind of fruit, I get indigestion. But the same food, when it taken by someone else, let's say my mother, she is not having any problem. And I always used to complain, why I'm having problem and you don't have problem. When I read Ayurvedic books and I figured out, oh, this is the story all about. So this will give you all the kinds of questions or answers. If you have a problem, why you have a problem, you find out your doshas, your prakriti, and you will be able to answer yourself why you are feeling that. Okay? And of course, within Ayurveda, there are very unique things that comes. One is the internal purification process, and of course, which is followed by, which we call it panchakarma, and then followed by specific diet, herbal remedies, massage therapy, yoga, and meditation. So everything comes in, but it is primarily we need to decide what we are. We are a part of this, and it is so scientific. I mean, there is no one can deny this, the way this Ayurveda works. It is not a science, right? So this is something you can explore by yourself and know what is your dosha and how you can help yourself. Finally, coming to nurturing the body. You know, nurturing the body, as I said, you have to take proper food and so on and so forth. What all thing comes here? Intake is one, routine is one. We know proper intake is necessary and proper routine is also necessary. Physical labor is necessary, exercise is necessary, balancing internal and external organs of our body is necessary. At the same time, balancing our breathing of the body. I told you, exercise is a very important thing. And we all must, do some kind of small exercise, whatever we can is important. So I think medicine and treatment. So why I'm talking about all these things? You see, you take a proper intake, you do proper physical exercise, you do balancing of your internal body, external organs, then balancing of breathing. If everything you do and still you have problem, then you go for treatment. This is what is meant for this. Okay. So the program of nurturing and maintaining of the health comes with all these routines. So this is what I already discussed. I'm not going to repeat it. So these are some important things from the point of view of your exam. Please remember this. Intake, what is intake, what is routine, what is physical labor, exercise, balancing internal and external organ, balancing breathing, etc. Okay. So moving on, I would like to talk about protecting and right utilization of the body. This is very important, you know. We have heard about everything, but how do we protect our body? You know, protecting, and of course, not only protecting, nurturing is fine. We need to, you know, take proper food, proper exercise, and everything. But protecting of your body is very important. Sometimes we simply don't care about it. We don't protect. We are exposed to cold, etc. And we find that we have trouble in our. So this is very important. Providing a conducive physical environment, which include a proper clothing, a proper shelter. You know, we do not need a mansion to sleep good. We need a simple, small, proper bed where you can sleep, where it is good to sleep. How many of you will agree with me? The time we did not have AC, we were living a much better life rather than after coming off all the, you know, luxuries of life. Tell me, how many of you agree with me?
I do.
Isn't it? That,
Yes, ma'am,
I mean,
absolutely.
these luxuries, and of course, once you are used to this luxuries, nobody will say no to it. Who will say no to it? I mean, if I ask a boy who's born and brought up living in AC, and tomorrow, no, you cannot live in AC, you have to come and you have to sit without AC, and it's very hot, and there. No one will do that once you are used to. But why there is hot places? Why do people come from colder countries to places to spend time in sun, in beaches? There is a reason for it. Our body needs that. You know, our body needs sweating. Sweating is one form of purification. That is why people living in hotter region are the most luckiest one, because they don't need to do that. You know, automatically when it's summer days, automatically you sweat so much, right? But sweating is so very important for our. So right utilization of the body would mean that it is used in the process of fulfilling human aspiration, which is basically the need of the self. Again, we are going to need of the self and how do we fulfill it. Revisiting the prosperity and the harmony between the self and the body. So let me very quickly tell that what we discussed so far. Nurturing the body through food, protecting the body through clothes and shelter, and rightly utilizing the body through our instrument. And that's it. If you do these three things properly, you are good to go. Of course, and if you can see this clearly, we can also see that the physical facility required to ensure each one of them is required in limited quantity. You do not need food. I mean, excessive food is bad for us. You know, we always eat until we are full. That is so bad. Even I do. Because when you start eating, now there is no control. That you like something, you keep on eating. But it is in Ayurveda said, and the doctors also says this, that we should not make our stomach full. So that we give little space so that the cells can do the digestion process also. If you are too overloaded, it simply cannot do it in some way or the other. Okay, so this is very, very important. And if we can see this clearly, we can also see that the physical facility required to ensure each one of them is required in limited. I just said this, right? We need everything in limited quantity. Now comes the placebo effect. This, I just love this effect. You know, after listening to this, you will also like it. There were a number of experiments that were conducted. And this did not happen now. It's way back in 1798 or so. Scientists observed such kind of effect. What kind of effect? Suppose these two persons are having some kind of disease. Okay. One person is given a drug, a real drug. Another person is also given a real drug, but actually that real drug is not a drug, but some sugar pills. But when he eats that, he feels that, oh, this is a drug, right? So one person is actually eating a drug and another person is not eating a drug. He's just eating a sugar pill. But this person knows that you are eating a drug. And it is observed that the way this person is getting healed, this person is also getting healed in the same way without taking medicine. So how come this happens? There is a lot of evidence how this happens. There is biological, conclusions which doctors have done a lot of research on and found out that there is some portion of your brain that is affected by what you think. So you understand how much important is your thinking and how good your thinking should be. So once you take the medicine, once you go to a doctor, half of your disease goes off. I've seen some people, when they see the doctor, they feel happy. Although for me, it is not the case. I don't want to see doctors, but it is the case with people. When they go to doctor, they feel happy because it is a kind of mental support. I have come to someone who will help me. It's a kind of positive thing that happens in your mind, and some portion of your mind gets activated and it starts to heal your body. So you yourself, have you experienced something like this? With not only with that, thinking positive will make you really a different person altogether. No ailments will come, but you have to think good for others. You should not gossip about others. We will not talk about others. Fine, a person can be good, bad. I'm no one to judge. Who am I to judge? But we do judge, right? That is our problem. If we don't judge, then we will be happy. Once we judge, we keep ourselves into trouble. It's not the other person's problem. It is our problem. Okay. So I have come to almost the summary of this lecture. What we discussed, health is very, very important. Whenever both the self and the body is in harmony, good health is necessary, but at the same time, we need to think good so that our self and your body is in harmony. Health is vital. So think about it. What is your prakriti and how you can help yourself? Of course, there is a connection between self and the body, and hence we must keep both happy, right? And nurturing of the body is vital. Here I end. Now questions. Students, I'll first ask you to ask me questions if you have any. If you do not have questions, I have a couple of questions to ask you. Can you please ask now the questions?
Ma'am,
Yes.
I'm Shayan Anthony Gomes from D8.
Yeah.
Ma'am, can you give one more example of placebo effect? One more.
Okay. So the first placebo effect that has happened, like there was one kind of iron rod kind of things that was made and that was kept for healing your knee pain. Okay, for your knee pain. It happened in France for the first time. So it was made of iron, and it was said that this iron rod can only help it. But one of the scientists replicated it with wood, hoping it may work, it may not work. Doing something, making an iron rod was not so easy during that period of time, maybe. And they tried with that wood. And they have seen the same effect. Both the person, somebody using the iron rod in his leg is also getting healed, and somebody using that, the other wooden rod is also getting healed. So it's basically like that. You know, it's a kind of effect that happens like how you feel about your healing. How
Okay,
you
ma'am.
Say
So,
that
ma'am, can we say that it is a substitute for something?
No, it cannot be, because it can be detrimental also. Somebody is not thinking positive, you know, for that, for them, there will be no effect on this, isn't it? Because it's
Yes,
not a
ma'am.
medicine. It's not a medicine, right? If you are taking sugar pill and you are like, you are not feeling good also, that means that placebo effect is not happening on you. So there is no guarantee that it will work on you. But it has been seen that it works on many. It even worked with cancer patients, and they have healed. Their cancer cell have turned to, normal cells. So there are evidences. There are a lot of evidences. That is why a lot of research has been also taken up. But always it will not happen, right?
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Any other? Okay, now I want to ask you a question. Answer me. Anybody, one by one, can answer. How can you cultivate positive thoughts? Tell me some ways of doing it.
now we can do it by suppose if we spend time on our physical exercises, then we are avoiding about all the junks that are in around us, and we can see thought as a goal to achieve it, and in this we can have a positive approach towards every aspects of life. In this way,
Very
I
good.
think
A
we can
physical
have a positive
activity,
thought.
right? A
Yeah,
physical
ma'am.
activity you're
Yeah,
saying.
ma'am. Yeah, ma'am.
Or a sports, or sports.
As I am a sports background person, so I can say about this way only the physical
Right.
processing.
So you yourself have faced this. When you are going
Yeah, ma'am.
and doing
Obviously.
some sports, you get positive thoughts. No
Yeah,
bad
ma'am.
things comes to your mind,
Means
right?
in that time we have only one thought and one goal to achieve so it can have a positive
Yes.
aspects.
Right. Very true. Any other answers? How can you
Meditation.
Hello, ma'am.
Yeah, one by one.
Hello,
Ananya,
ma'am.
please.
Hello.
Yeah, Ananya, please tell.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, when we can do what we want to do, what is the hobby of ourselves, we can get some positive thoughts and we can cultivate what we want to be and what we want to do. This
So
it
you are
will
saying
be.
your passion, when you are going
Yes,
through with
yes,
your
ma'am.
passion, right?
Yes,
You
ma'am.
love something and you are doing something, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, very true. Exercise, passion. What else?
Ma'am,
Ma'am,
meditation.
Yes,
Meditation.
meditation as well, definitely. Talking to you, I mean, not thinking about anything, right? That will also give you some kind of peace.
Yeah.
And
We
yes,
actually go deep into ourselves to find the solution to any problem that we have. So meditation is a way of getting positive vibes.
absolutely. I
It's a sort
myself
of
have
mental
experienced this,
exercise
so
other
I
than physical
can
exercise.
assure you. Yes, you are very right. Ishita, yes?
It's a sort of mental exercise other than
Yeah,
physical exercise.
right. Very true. What else?
ma'am,
You guys,
following a healthy lifestyle.
healthy lifestyle. I agree.
Ma'am, other thing is that we
Ma'am?
should
Ayushi,
close to nature.
Yes,
close to
ma'am.
nature. This is very important. When you spend time with nature, you will find so much positivity,
And
because they
truly
always
spending
gives
time
you.
with nature, not that going to a eco-friendly place and having a selfie over there. Truly spending time with nature.
Yes. Have you ever tried talking with plants?
Not really, but I like
Try
to.
it sometime. They
Ma'am, I
listen to
have
you.
tried it.
They listen to you. They literally listen to you. It has happened to me, you know, and it's a story like the plant was not growing at all. You know, it was a rose plant and it was not growing at all. And then literally said that I'm going to throw this plant away if it doesn't grow in a month. You know, I said this. And after 8 months, 8 old months, it has given flower. So I believe that it happens. So everything is reciprocal. Yes, Ayushi, can you please say?
Yes, ma'am. By positive assertion means if we tell ourselves every time positive thoughts or positivity will generate among ourselves. So
Yes.
positive assertion will also work. As you
Yes.
said, in the case of a plant, if we always say some good or positive sentence near to a plant, they will always, if we will feel like they are blooming in a good way, they are healthy, and it's actually happens. So
Yeah.
positive assertion always work, ma'am.
Yes, yes. And at the same time, it is with your cells. Whatever you are thinking, if you are thinking positive, all those positivity goes to all the cells that are present in your body.
Exactly, ma'am.
Heals.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So how to cultivate positive thoughts? You have very good answers. Very nice. I go to the next question. Is
Ma'am,
there
sorry to
any way
interrupt
to
you.
stop?
Yeah, ma'am, there was an answer in our Telegram group. So one of my friend couldn't give you the answer as he's not in the Zoom meeting. So gave
Okay.
by chatting. So I put the answer in the chat box. Can you please check it out?
Okay, let me see. By keeping good company, those who can guide you and unlock your positive thoughts
Ma'am, the
lying
up
in.
one. The up one, ma'am.
We can cultivate positive
Yeah,
things
ma'am.
by
Yeah, ma'am.
doing positive visualization, listening good music. Yes, I just missed out this. This is really important. Listening to good music. And it says that their doctors are recommending this to heart patients. That
Ma'am, this
listen
was answer
to.
was given by Joy Broto Roy, ma'am. His name.
Okay, that's very good. Another person has also given Jayanto Nadgupta by keeping good company, those who can guide you and unlock your positive thoughts lying in deep slumber. Okay. Good. So is there any way to stop thinking?
Ma'am, meditation. It's nothing but meditation.
Yeah, but have you even when we do meditation, have you achieved this point?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, Ayushi?
Ma'am, actually it happens to me. Means if I want to means stop thinking about anything, I need to concentrate on something else. If I concentrate on something else, then I start thinking about the previous one. So to change our concentration, I think is the way to stop thinking to a particular thing.
Stop thinking about a particular thing is important. I'm just saying,
if we want to
stop thinking. There is no thought at some point. Is it possible?
Ma'am, it's a kind of rare thing, miss.
Yeah. First of all, this is a kind of very rare thing.
It is generally not happen because our mind is such a thing that miss anything can come in our mind. If we are in nature, we see anything in nature and we start thinking about that. So it's very rare to stop thinking anything.
Yes. So it is.
Ma'am, are you talking about only thinking or positive thinking or negative thinking like that?
No, just think. No, I mean, you know how many thoughts comes to our mind in 1 second? It's numerous, right? So I'm saying that at any point of time, is it possible that you don't think anything? Good, bad, neutral, nothing.
That is impossible.
Yeah. So that
Not
is what
really,
I'm saying.
yeah.
But it is not impossible. There are people who have achieved this and they are beyond some kind of, character.
You can stop negative thinking by doing many things, but
no, negative thinking, definitely. That can be done. That is very obvious by doing a lot of things. But is there any way to stop thinking? That is not true for us. Right? Now tell me this. How to concentrate on anything? What do you do to do this?
And to set a goal.
Okay, to set a goal. What else?
If I want to concentrate, then we first of all fix the routine, then just follow it.
Yes, this is one way.
Ma'am, if we want to concentrate on one thing, we have to omit other thinkings from our mind.
Is it possible?
this is a very rare thing, but if we try to do this, we can do better.
But this is not impossible, right? People do concentrate. People do great in their studies. Some of you will be doing great in your studies, right? So this is
Yes,
not
ma'am,
impossible.
but doing the best thing what I can do, in this way we have to omit the other things which I am thinking on
Can you tell
working
me
the
one
other
of that
thing.
thing?
Ma'am,
Can you
can
tell
I
me
interrupt?
one of that thing which you can omit, which is in my number one list? I will tell you. If you tell, that is all right. What we can do, what you can do to concentrate on something, on anything, on studies, on doing a work or anything. Ayushi, yes?
Ma'am, I think it's all depend on training. If we train our mind like, okay, now concentrate what you are studying. So means automatically our mind will concentrate. Yes, this is going on and we have to concentrate in this. So there are something, means sometimes it happens like we get diverted or our concentration breaks. But if we again means try or train our mind, means in my case it happens, means I tell my brain that no, it's time, you have to concentrate, just think about this, and then the concentration in anything automatically gets deeper and deeper. Means for
Right.
me, the training of the brain is more important thing. It's
Yes.
elimination of distraction, and training the way to concentrate on a particular thing is important at that very point of time.
Okay, good answer. First, I would say, if you want to concentrate on something, take your phone, keep it in a box, and keep it in a different room. If you really want to concentrate on something, and you can do it. But if you want to work or study 2 hours in a very concentrated way, then that 2 hours, you have to make yourself mobile free. When we were studying, we used to study. We have my brothers, sisters, we all study in the same room, separately. We used to do that, but now people want individual rooms for our studies. At the same time, you have mobile phones. At every point of time, we see mobile phones. You know, we are talking about training, that is very important, but to concentrate, you have to say no to something, and that is your mobile phone. What will happen if for 2 hours you will not respond to something? Nothing will happen. If you not respond to something for 2 to 3 hours, you are doing a great thing by not looking into the mobile screen and doing some of your own studies. These days, I'm pretty sure you are always doing the studies seeing the screens, because slides are shared and everything is online. But how many of you take the book and decide, okay, this is the same topic which ma'am or sir has taught in the class. Let me take the book and concentrate. You will be able to concentrate more, because with your mobile or with your screen, you will not be able to see your emails at every point of time. So there are unique ways. Things have changed. For doing concentration, it is not something magic. We all can do it. Of course, somebody said doing something which is passion for me. There are some people who cannot study, who cannot sit for even 15 minutes together, for studying something. Once they start studying something, they feel, okay, I'll stop this, I'll start studying something else. Okay, I'll stop this, I'll start. So they're not, if you decide, I will not have any option. Ayushi said she can do it. She's having a power through which she can do it. She can train her mind that, no, I will do this. So there is a both subconscious and conscious mind. Consciously, you have to tell yourself, how do I concentrate? No, I will say no to everything. This 1 hour, I'm going to do this. Of course, if you are like a sports person and you are going for a game, your full 100% concentration is there. But when you are studying, when you are doing some other work, you are not able to do that properly. Because may not be this is something which you like the most. But in life, it does happen that you will always not get your passionate things to do. There are some other things to do in your life to achieve some higher goals. And we need this. So for concentration, I would say keep those digital devices away. Try to think that, yes, this is my goal and I will be achieving this in next 2 hours. Try to concentrate fully on that. Anything comes, say no to it. Anything comes to your mind, you can write it in a paper. Okay, this I have to do, this I have to do, this I have to do. You can write 5 points or 10 points, which came into your mind in that 2 hours. But just don't do it, do those. Do your this thing. And once you are done with this, get up and do all of the things. Try to do these things. You know, after listening to all these videos, I will request you, just try out all these things. And the last question, what can be done to help self and body? Anybody? I think we have discussed everything, what we can do. Food is the most important thing. That is our positive thought, positive mindset. Okay. I think if anybody wants to say something, I would request you to say. Otherwise, that is all from today's class. Shamanta sir?
Hello. One thing, very good discussion, you know. One thing I just to add or just to interact, you know, one thing regarding the thinking process, you know, that as per the psychologist or Hall's theory, you know, thinking must, it is not a discrete one. It is one kind of quantum. Thinking must depends on the quantum way. Okay, so suppose 1 minute you are thinking materials in your coming to your as thinking mass in your mind, next second it will be more or less. So how can we keep it as a constant mass, you know? That's why the only reason is that if we give some reinforcement to static this thinking mass, it is only the process of I'm telling this consciousness, exciting the consciousness, and then severely consciousness you will due to concentration that you've told, and will go to a level of super conscious. Another terminology as well Aravinda told this. So if I go to that level of super consciousness, then the thinking mass will be in a stable condition. Okay, but thinking mass, we cannot protect all the thinking materials will not be coming. So another forces will have to adjust the release position condition. Then the thinking mass will be in a static position. That is I'm telling. Okay, thinking from your actually psychology and the physics materials. It is a kind of books that is perception and thinking process. I'm telling referring the concept of Hall's, you know, Hall theory. Okay, that I'm telling just to add it. Okay. Okay.
I see, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, then all of you have given the attendance. The attendance I've already pasted.
Ma'am, would you please tell us the timing for tomorrow's exam?
Tomorrow's timing is 6:45 to 7:45.
Very good, important lecture that you have given today. That it will be very helpful to the students, I know.
I hope we all remember, because these are very important for our day-to-day life thing.
Very effective one.
So, I have a question. Can I ask?
Of
Sure.
course.
ম্যাম অ্যাকচুয়ালি আমাদের আগের এক্সামে আমরা দেখেছিলাম যে আমাদের ওই একটা গুগল ফর্মে কোয়েশ্চেন দেওয়া হয়েছিল এবং সেই হিসাবে আমাদের এক্সাম নেওয়া হয়েছিল। তো কালকের টাইম ডিউরেশনটা অনেকটা বেশি, তো আমাদের কি ওইভাবে এক্সাম নেওয়া হবে না কোনো অ্যানালাইটিক উত্তর আমাদের লিখতে হবে?
And no. I think Kalkeo, it will be the same. Okay. You will be getting the first few question will be like, it's not a question, your name, your roll number, your department, first part. Then there will be 10 short answers. Okay. But those are multiple choice questions where it will carry marks. Okay. And the last section, it's a feedback thing where you have to write it. You have to write your, experiences, what you have learned from this, or so many and so forth, whatever question it is there. So I think the time is more, but you can complete it way ahead. That's not a problem. Sir, is that okay?
Yes, ma'am. All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Then if that is all right, then thank you all of you. And see you tomorrow. All the best. I will be sharing this PPT today to you all in the Telegram group. I will send it to Maji sir, and Maji sir will be sending it to you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for your presentation. Actually, I was listening all throughout my journey, and
Okay, sir.
it's a very good explanation of the differentiation of self and body, and hope our students could grasp a little bit of it, and hope to see all of them in tomorrow's exams. So
Yes,
they
sir.
are more concerned with the exams rather than learning, I believe.
That's the concern. When they see the question, there are no questions which they all know the answer. But some students are actively taking part. I'm so happy about it. This is what Madan sir wanted. I'm just missing him so much. Okay.
Right, ma'am. Right.
Yeah.
Okay, then.
Any question?
Good night, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Somebody was raising their hand. Anybody is having any question?
Okay. Yeah, please speak out. Please speak out.
Sir, maybe by mistake they have raised their hand. Anyway, sir, with this, thank you very much, sir, for taking up. I see the students tomorrow at 6:45.
Okay, ma'am. Good night, ma'am.
Okay. Good night, sir.
Good night, all the students. Yeah, I'll be ending the session.
Thank you.
Tomorrow it will be started at 6:30. Professor Maji.
Yeah, okay, I'm sure I'll be there at home. No problem.
Okay. Thank you.